I hope you are doing good. So today we will discuss a new DSA question, overlapping intervals, right? So first we will understand the question, then we will discuss the question with the examples here, and then we will discuss the algorithm solution that we will apply to solve this question. And then I will convert this algorithm into the C++ code, and then we will run the all the use cases there. So let's start understanding the question here. So the given question is given an array of intervals, right? And where error of I is a start of I comma end of I. The task is to merge all of the overlapping intervals, right? So the question says we will be given one array of intervals basically, right? And that intervals will contain the starting point and the end point, right? So or you can say simply like this is the array of pairs, right? Pair will consist starting point and ending point, correct? So let's understand this question with the given example here. So input array is given, right? Array of pairs basically. So let me write. So one input array, right? This is input. Input is 1 comma 3, right? 2 comma 4, 6 comma 8, and 9 comma 10, right? So this is the input, and these are the intervals basically, right? This is the starting point, left side one, right side one is the end point of that particular interval, right? So now we have to basically merge all the overlapping intervals, right? So overlapping means like for example here, see, let's take this example here. So this interval is starting from, so let me write here the numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, right? So if we consider these numbers here, then the first interval will start from the 1. The first interval will start from the here 1 2 3, right? And the second interval will start from the 2 to 4, right? See here now if we check for the overlapping, so draw one line here, right? So this is the first interval. Now see the second interval is basically overlapping. This part is overlapping here, right? And if we draw this line, then this is the area which is getting overlapped basically 2 to 3, right? So we have to basically merge all the intervals which are overlapping, right? So we have to merge now these two intervals 1 comma 3 to 2 comma 4, and now we will merge and we will take separate interval here. So basically the merged interval would be this one 1 to 4. So this will, instead of these two intervals, we will merge them into one interval only 1 to 4. So that is our task, right? And what about these two? So these two are the separate ones, right? These two are not basically overlapping. So this is 6 to 8, right? So 6 to 8 is so here take 6 to 8. This is 6 to 8, and the other one is 9 to 10. So the other one is 9 to 10, right? So these are not overlapping basically. See, you can clearly say here these two are not overlapping. So now at the end the output array should contain one interval, this one, this one, and third one is this one. So these three intervals should be there in the output array. We have to merge all the intervals which are getting overlapped with each other, right? So the output array should be 1 4, then this one as it is 6 8, right? And this one is also as it is 9 comma 10, right? See here 1 4 6 8 9 10. So I hope you understood the problem here. No need to take the second example, right? So we have to basically merge all the intervals which are getting overlapped, right? So now think about the solution, think about the algorithms which can be applied here. And yeah, if you think different than me, then please comment below the video so that we also get to know what you are thinking, right? What is your approach? So what I am thinking here now, so what I will do here, I will sort this given array in the ascending order on the basis of the starting point of each and every interval, right? So what I will do, so in this case this is already sorted. See this 1 2 6 and 9, right? So this is already sorted. So first thing what I will do, I will sort. So second I will check for the overlap, right? So how I will check for overlap? So I will store first, like what I will do, I will check the overlap with the previous one, right? So for in this case, for example, this I will start from the second, right? I will start from the second interval. Second interval is from 2 to 4, right? And first one is from 1 to 3. So first one is from 1 to 3, right? And second one is from 2 to 4, right? And this is, see here clearly it is basically overlapping, right? So how can we check that overlap condition here? So the end part so see, end part of this previous one is greater than the beginning part or the starting point of the current one, right? This one. So this is our current one, right now, and the previous one is this one. So first what I will do in resultant array, I will store this 1 comma 3 here, right? And I'm checking for the first one here, this one. This is the zeroth one, you can say, and this is the first one, or you can say this is first and this is second. So this is my current basically interval, right? And this current interval I will check with the previous one, right? So here this is current, and for overlap condition, the current intervals starting point should be less than the previous ones, right? Previous ones, the end point. If this is less than, yeah, see here this is 2 and this is 3. So it means these two are basically overlapping, right? So if yes, now if overlapping is yes, then what I will do, if overlapping, right? Yes. So in that case what we will do, now we will check for the endpoint also. Now we will check for the endpoint also, and we will compare these two, right? These two we will compare. Why? Because see here, so the question says the task is to merge, right? See, merge all the overlapping intervals. Now we found that these two intervals are basically overlapping each other, right? These two are overlapping each other. Now we have to merge. So for merge what we can do, because starting point is the first one, right? This is the less than, right? So now because we have already sorted it in the ascending order on the basis of the start point, so no need to check the start point now, right? So now we have to check for the end point only, because these two are overlapping. So now if these two are overlapping, then we will update the resultant this interval basically with the greater value here basically, right? So this first one is having 3, right? This is 3 and this is 4, the second one, the current one, right? With we are comparing, right? So this is 4. So now instead of 3, now the value should be 1 comma 4 here, right? I have explained this one, right, last time, where we say after merging these two after merging, this is coming basically 1 to 4, right? This is our resultant basically interval after merging these two, correct? Now this is fine. Now we will check for the next interval, that is 6 comma 8, right? This is 6 comma 8. So now this 6 comma 8 we will compare with the previous one. Now previous merged one, right? Previous merged one which is there in the resultant array, right? That is 1 comma 4. So now we will compare this 6 comma 8. Now we will compare this 6 comma 8. 6 comma 8 is this one, right? This is 6 comma 8. Now we compare this one with this one. So for overlapping condition, what we will do, we will check for the starting point of the current one, that is 6, right? This is our starting point, right? And this starting point we will compare with the last element which is there in the resultant array, right? Last like end position of the last interval, whatever is there, right? So this is 4. So it is greater than 4, right? It is greater than 4. It means these two intervals are not basically overlapping. These two are not overlapping. So in that case what we will do, it means overlapping condition is no, right? Overlapping condition is no. So in that case we directly insert, right? So we can say directly insert, and if yes, then update and insert. right? This is your algorithm. So now we will directly insert it into the resultant array. So it would be 6 comma 8, right? And now we will check for the next element here. Next, so next is 9 comma 10 here, right? Next is 9 comma 10. So now 9 comma 10, this interval we will compare with the previous element interval which is there in the resultant array, that is 6 comma 8, right? This is 6 comma 8. So now this 9 comma 8, so this 9 comma 8 interval we will compare 9 comma 10, this we will compare with the 6 comma 8, right? So this one. So now see here, for overlapping condition, what we will do, for overlapping condition, we 8 and 9, we compare these two starting point of the previous one, this is 8, right? And sorry, end position of the previous one 8, and the starting point position of the current one, right? So starting position of the current one should be greater than the end point of the previous one. In that case, it is not overlapping basically, right? Or you can say vice versa. If the end position of the previous one, that is 8, is greater than or equals to the starting position of the current one, it in that case we can say these are two overlapping. So this condition is here false, these are not overlapping here. So in that case, what we will do, if no overlap condition is no, it means we will directly insert into the resultant array here. So we can say here directly we can insert, that is 9 comma 10 here, right? So see here we get the output here, and now after this we are out of the array, right? So no need to do anything. Now we can return this output array here, 1 comma 4, 6 comma 8, 9 comma 10. I hope you understood it. We can take another example here. So let me basically clear this out. So here second example is 6 comma 8, 1 comma 9, 2 comma 4, 4 comma 7. So let me write it here in ascending order. So what we are doing, first sorting it, right? So we will sort it on the basis of starting point. So this is unsorted, right? So what I will do, let me write it here, 1 comma 9, right? Then 2 comma 4, then 4 comma 7, and then 6 comma 8, right? So I have sorted it. See here, 1 2 4 6, these are ascending order, correct? So this is the first task, right? Then what we will check, we will check for the overlap condition. So let me draw it here. So 1 comma 9, right? So 1 comma 9, this is this one, right? 1 comma 9, right? And we will directly add this into the resultant array here, 1 comma 9. Now we will go and check for the second one here. Second is 2 comma 4, that is 2 comma 4, this one, right? 2 comma 4 here, correct? Now we will check here for the overlap condition. So overlap condition is here, this one. So how can we check this overlap? How we were checking? So we were checking the end position of the previous one, right? End position of the previous one, that is 9, right? And starting position of the current one, current is this one, correct? So that is 2. And if the starting position is less than, right? So we can say this is the less than this one. It means the first interval is not getting end, but the second interval is getting started before ending the first one, right? It means these two are overlapping, right? So now we can say these two are overlapping, correct? So now condition is true, then we will say update and insert. So how we will update? We will check, and what we will update? We will update the end position, right? If it is applicable, right? So now we will compare the 4 with the 9. So now these two we will compare. Now 9 is greater than 4, so we will not do anything. Else, if this is greater than, in the previous case, right, it was greater, so we will updating it, right? So now 4 is less than this one, so we will not do anything, right? So this is correct one. So now this 4 is gone, right? So now we will check for the next interval, 4 comma 7, right? So let me delete this one. So now we will check for the 4 comma 7. So now 4 comma 7 is this one, right? 4 comma 7 is this one. So now we will compare this is 4, this is 7, right? So now we will compare the starting position of the current one with the ending position of the previous one. Previous one is 9, right? Ending position 9. So 9 is greater than 4, right? It means it is overlapping, right? The previous one is not getting ended, but this current one is getting started, right? Here it is starting from here, right? So it is overlapping. So now we will check for the end position of the current one with, and we will compare this end position of the current one with the end position of the previous one, right? To identify it is getting ended before ending the first one, previous one, or it is basically extending to the further, right? So that is why we are checking this interval. So this position 7 and 9, 7 is less than 9, right? It means it is getting ended before ending the previous one, right? This interval is getting ended after the this current one. So no need to make any change into the resultant array, resultant value, right here, right? So this is also gone. So now we will check for the next, right? Now we will check for the next here, that is 6 comma 8. So now 6 comma 8, right? 6 comma 8 is this one, 6 comma 8 here. So now what we will do, we will check for the overlap condition here for this interval also, right? So the overlap condition is we will check for the end position of the previous one, that is 1 comma 9, that is there in the resultant array, and starting position of the current one, that is 6, right? So this is 6, right? This is 6. So now 6 is less than the 9, right? So it means the current interval is starting before the previous interval is getting ended, right? Right? So it means these are two overlapping. So now if it is overlapping, then we will update and insert, right? So for updating, we will check, we will compare the end position of the current one with the end position of the previous one, right? So previous one end position is 9 and the current interval's end position is 8, right? It means the current interval is getting ended before the previous one, right? That is 1 comma 9, right? So it means see, this is here, it is getting ended here at 8 position only, and it is going till the 9, the previous one. So no need to make any update right here in the resultant value, right? So we can say we can discard this also, right? We can also discard this one, and then now we are going out of array, right? So once we are done with the complete all the intervals, then we can return this resultant array, right? So now our resultant array would be this one, right? 1 comma 9. See here also you can see here resultant array is output is 1 comma 9, right? So I hope you understood the problem, you understood the algorithm, whatever I am thinking, right? I have explained it in detail with you. So now let me write it into the C++ code, and then we will basically run it and with the all the use cases. So see, I have added this C++ code. So here I am doing all these steps whatever we have discussed here. So first part I am sorting here, right? Sort I am applying with the comparator because here we are using the vector of vector, right? And for this comparator, if you does not know about this comparator function here in sort, please comment below the video. I will explain it in detail, right? So this first sorting part is done. Now after that I have taken one resultant array here. Here I will store the result, and then I am pushing the first element into the resultant array, right? That is what I have explained to you. Then I will check for all the elements here, like I will traverse through all the intervals in the given array, and then so this array would be sorted, right? Because we have done the sorting part here, right? Sorting part is here, right? So this is the sorted array now. So now I will check for the all the intervals here, and then here this is the condition where I will check we have to merge or not. We have to basically these two intervals are basically overlapping or not. That is what we are checking here, right? Here current interval and the last interval, right? Current intervals starting position and last intervals end position. On these two positions we are basically adding the condition. If this is true, it means we have to basically check for the merge. These two intervals are getting overlapped. If that is true, then we are checking for update and insert, right? So for updating part, we are checking here the last intervals end position and the current intervals end position. If current intervals end position is greater than the last intervals end position, then we will update this one, right? Else we will escape it, right? And see here. So here you can see I am taking this as a reference. Why I am taking as a reference is res.back. Res.back will give me the last element from the resultant array, basically, right? So this will give me the last element from the resultant array, right? And I am taking it as a reference because I have to modify it if required, right? That is why I am taking it as a reference here. So you have to basically keep it in mind, right? So and now if it is we have to update, then we will update it. Else we will escape it, right? And if this condition is no, right, this overlapping condition is no, right, if the two intervals are not getting not overlapping each other, in that case we will do directly insert, right, here push back into the resultant array, right? And at the end we are basically returning this one. So let me clear this. So let's submit it. So you can see here problem solved successfully, right? Congratulations. All the test cases passed here, right? And so the time complexity of this algorithm would be, you can calculate here, this sorting will take n log n, right? N log n, and here this loop we are iterating through all the elements, so it would be order of n, and here nothing, right? So we can add them, right? So the total time complexity would be log n, right? N log n, right? So that's all for today. I hope you understood the problem, you understood the algorithms, whatever we have discussed, right? And yeah, that's all for today. See you next time. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring.